Ladies and gentlemen, my last panel session for the day, the plenary session for the day, I would like to call upon the legal experts that are supposed to join us here on stage. Please come through. Let's do this. Maloya Manyama. You need these guys, eh? Things go wrong here. I would like to call upon Vengai Madzima, senior partner at MCM Legal, sponsor Wema Drinks. Advocate Homera, Namatirai Ruzidzo, senior partner at Ruzidzo Legal Counsel. She's not here. She's here. Asipondo my drinks. Huh? Asipondo my drinks. I'm worried. Muruku Farero Tumana Chief Justice Wanyawani. Yes. Zurubuda. Yes. Especially you guys, she's a lady. Yes. Are you happy? Yes. So for those who don't know, we have a brand new Chief Justice in Zimbabwe, and she's a lady, very powerful woman. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to give my colleagues from the legal space some space to talk to us. I'll start with you, madam. You can introduce yourself, what it is that you do, speak briefly.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Namatirai Ruzidzo, and I am the senior partner at Ruzidzo Legal Counsel. I'm also a director for a mining consultancy called Mineral Maven. I'm happy to be joining you all, and I come from Mashingo, so Mashingo Netara. Thank you.
Good day, everybody. My name is Vengai Madzima. I'm a partner at Madzima Tichgao Sekum Seta Legal Practitioners, commonly known as MCM Legal. My specialty as a partner at MCM Legal really is to move new investors either from the diaspora or foreign investors through the investment cycle in Zimbabwe. So I'm really glad to be here.
Well, you have the mic, Mukoma. Munoenda court, Remy. Munomboenda court.
My job, I need to answer that question. When my job is not done well, people go to court.
Okay, so I'm in the court.
Hardly.
I was back at dark. Imagine saying, Yona. My client, yeah. It would be very interesting. I like your voice, by the way. As a broadcaster, your voice is gold. Confirm, Nico? Yeah, very good voice, my brother.
All right, thank you so much. So my name is Edias Omera. I am the managing partner at Zwimba Law Chambers. Basically, I specialize in corporate litigation. I am your court guy. I litigate in the Superior Court of Zimbabwe, the Supreme Court, and the High Court as well. In the corporate sector, I specialize in energy law, mergers and acquisitions. Thank you so much.
Right. Let's just, maybe we can start with my sister there. In terms of due diligence and all these things that are needed, because sometimes, you know, when we gather like this, there are opportunities that Mashingo City will bring, Umkuza will come here with their people looking all good, and then we go and follow them, transactions are made, and then somebody's crying. It usually happens, isn't it? So I just wanted to find out from you, you know, the processes and what we need to look out for as potential investors into the country.
Thank you so much for that very pertinent topic. Indeed, due diligence, I think it's one of the utmost pillars that our diaspora constituency has to look at before you can invest, before you can ring-fence your investment. But I'm happy to advise that we've had a number of, actually an overwhelming number of inquiries coming from the diaspora community who want to invest in land. So it's so encouraging, and it means that people are, realizing the importance of actually consulting before you invest. So what you have to look at, I'll be brief because people don't like legal advice until it pertains to them and until they're in a certain situation. So I'll try to streamline and say, the utmost, pillar of due diligence in any transaction is a registered legal practitioner. Knock on the office of my senior counsel, Vengai Madzima, my counsel Homera. Knock at their offices. Present your documentation or present the scenario that you're faced with. Quite often, we've had a number of diasporans actually wanting to buy farmland in Zimbabwe. And the challenge there is people don't realize that farmland is state land, most of it. If it is an offer letter, if there's a 99-year lease, it's not for sale. But we've had diasporans buying that upon agreements of sale, which to us as lawyers are invalid because once a land does not belong to an individual and it's state land, it then becomes invalid. So make sure that you knock on the office of someone who will be able to discern whether an invalid agreement can be entered into or not. Make sure that you knock on the office of a legal practitioner who then goes the extra mile to the relevant offices to verify whatever documentation you have. We are looking at your title deed, we are looking at a subdivision permit in new developments, we are looking at things like your development permit, your certificate of compliance and so forth. So in short, I would say that is what encompasses due diligence, and make sure that you get a written report from that lawyer, and that report should be able to explain in layman terms what it means to invest in that land or not to invest in that land. I think in short that is what we call due diligence.
Thank you so much, Counsel.
Thank you so much.
My brother, coming to you, proper structuring can determine whether investment succeeds or not, right? But there are a lot of legal issues as she has been picking up. What investment structures or legal mechanisms can best protect us as investors who are coming into Zimbabwe?
Okay. I like your question. There is no one-size-fits-all answer to that particular question. Each situation requires its own particular structuring. And this is the problem that we have been having, because something has worked for another individual. People tend to carbon copy or AI the solution. When it comes to structuring really is premised on the idea of protecting your asset. And I like to give this example. Because we're in South Africa, I think this is when I first learned it. We had clients that came in. I was a junior lawyer at that time of Afrikaans origin into Zimbabwe. And the first thing they did, which shocked me at that time, because obviously figures sounded too big to me, they said, we need a lawyer that would work with 8 hours of the day and pay their hourly rate. Go into every meeting with them. And they had several meetings because they were building a big plant for beneficiation, which was mentioned by one of the district councils. They were building this very big plant. We went into these offices, and the lawyer was assigned to do it. And you would go into these offices, 8 hours. After that, they had a house in Newlands where they used as a, what do you call this, where you then exchange ideas for brainstorming. They used it for brainstorming. We'll then go there afterwards. And each individual transaction was structured using its peculiar qualities. And what then happened, and my lesson in that, at that time I was very excited about the billable hours I was obviously doing. But 3 years later, when things did go bad, we found in every particular situation in structure, we had prepared for it. We had structured our assets in a manner that they could not be touched. Even when the company eventually went into corporate rescue, the directors and everybody was protected because they took time out to do structuring for this particular transaction. We didn't come up with a one-size-fits-all, basically saying, okay, put these assets in a trust, put these assets in a holding, put these ones in a company, etc. We did things that were peculiar to the particular transactions they were trying to do, and we looked and mitigated against things that would, as we assumed, would come out. And you find that the client knows or understands most of the pitfalls in the industry more than the lawyer. So if there's that conversation, the lawyer's job then becomes to protect against those particular pitfalls. So when it comes to deal structuring, I always say find somebody you work with, find your own lawyer, be honest, it's a big thing, so that the lawyer is able to then protect you as you come in. It's easier to be handheld. And I know you always say the lawyers are expensive, but you need to understand, we get paid either way. If you don't come to us in the beginning, you come to us later, we'll still get paid. And when you come to us when you have a problem, we get paid more. We actually make less when you come to us before there's a problem. So my brother here is waiting for you. If you have a problem and you haven't solved it, he's here for you. And my sister, she's with me here. If you come to us before you have a problem, we'll structure so that he doesn't make so much money. But whichever way, I encourage people in the diaspora as you're coming back to Zimbabwe, you need to realize that Zimbabwe is a moving target. If I'm here until Thursday, I'll already be behind. So I need to go back also as quickly as possible because things change quickly. So you need somebody who's got a fingertip feel of what's really happening on the ground. And each industry is different. It has its own peculiarities, its own laws, its own modus operandi, its own gaps, even in law, even in enforcement, things that you can be advised so that you are able to move quickly before, obviously, things start to close up, which things are closing up very quickly, I might say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Madzima. Anzichero ka nonoka kana ukakurumidza cash tiri kutora. Atodziwana. Advocate, how can we advise my investors edu aya ari kuhesitata kuuya munyika? But you know, there's a lot of policy inconsistency in Zimbabwe. Mashefa Abuda, but I think Consular General will pass the message. There's a lot of inconsistency with our laws, and so 5149, you know, those kind of times. They're slowly dying. But from your perspective as an expert in the legal field, how can we encourage these guys to come through anyway, and how can we protect them from the shifting of those laws? You spoke about having someone who's there on the ground, you know, all the time. But how else can we protect those potential investors?
All right. Thank you so much. So maybe I'll start by saying something that we may want to all take heed of at a very early stage. I would open by saying, at the heart of any investment, at the heart of any business transaction is your contract. That is what is the lifeline of whatever investment, whatever business that you want to get into in Zimbabwe. You would appreciate that, and I would not say, like what my brother has said, it's not a one-size-fits-all. It's not every area where you'd find inconsistencies in our policy in Zimbabwe. I think we just had one area, which is the monetary policy. But in all other areas in our country, we have laws that govern your relationships, either with the local authorities, either with the mines and minerals bodies, whether it's with ZIDA. We have laws that govern any relationship or any contract or any investment that you may want to get in Zimbabwe. And those laws are consistent. They don't change the way you may think they do. Hence, it is important that when you want to get into a business transaction, when you want to invest in Zimbabwe, please, and I will repeat, please approach a legal practitioner. Pay them well and to protect your interest. Because it is that investment, it is at that stage that you may then miss the mark in terms of litigation. You then come to us, the litigators, when we now have disputes which you can't resolve, and then we charge you even more to argue in the High Court, to argue in the Supreme Court. So it is that contract that will protect you when disputes then arise. And those contracts, they are informed by the law. They are informed by those same policies. Now you have instances which have been mentioned in respect of the changes in monetary policies, etc. What you do observe is that what our government has done, they have established a central investment body, which is the ZIDA. You would note that in terms of that act, your money is safe and it is protected. You are able to repatriate your funds, your capital, if you have a license, an investment license, which you obtain in terms of that act of parliament. So I would emphasize that the government is trying so hard to protect your money. It is protecting your capital. Simply comply with what the law says you must do. If you do what the law says, you would find yourself in a better position for even your lawyer to defend your interest and to defend your rights in all those spheres. Thank you. I do submit.
Vakomana vari kufamba negospel rekesha. I'll pay them well. My sister, as we are wrapping up, we spoke about the side of the investor. Now, these guys that have come here to share their opportunities, there are also those other kind of investors that will just come and want to, string them along. How can they protect also this material that they have, these products that they have as local authorities or as government?
Okay, that is a very pertinent question. Thank you so much. I would say I would want to address this from a ZIDA perspective. I think that most of our people, or even the local ones, or even the diasporans, they think that ZIDA is only for foreigners. So I would say in terms of protection, ZIDA is your number one-stop shop. So the first thing that ZIDA is going to do is going to protect your investment. It's going to have specific agreements that will protect you. And then ZIDA will also, I think there's a brother who, contributed from that corner, whereby he was saying that the sister has managed to set up an entity in Gokwe, and they're finding it difficult to actually repatriate profits. So ZIDA makes it very possible. If you are registered, ZIDA will help streamline the process. ZIDA will also interlink with RBZ to actually then protect an investment from a repatriation perspective. And also there are tax and customs incentives which are associated with registering with ZIDA. So that is another way of protecting, I think. And finally, in terms of even immigration, let's say you are now a permanent resident from South Africa, or let's say you are now a South African citizen, it's also just important to approach ZIDA. Then I think I would want to highlight one final aspect. Let's take compliance seriously. Compliance is there to protect us. Zimbra is biting. So let's try to protect ourselves by also doing the needful, by following the laws of the country. What you could simply do, which I think I've got my colleagues from Bank ABC, they'll attest to it. In my other life, I was counsel at Bank ABC. So the bank is very particular about compliance because they know that compliance in turn protects their investments. Have a regulatory universe that is a set of laws that will affect your particular industry or your particular investment portfolio. Let's say you're in agriculture, make sure you know the laws that are relevant to that, break them down in terms of risk, and maybe if you have the time, consult a compliance expert who will color code what is in the red and what is in the orange and what is in the green. Compliance in turn protects your investment. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Council. Mukoma Vamadzima tataura kana nyaya dzevanhu ava vari kuda kuprotectiwa asi without really making you the spokesperson weZIDA. We look at these things from a very up there type of attitude. Like she was saying rightfully, we look at it as it's for foreigners. How do we best localize it for ourselves, using you guys as well who are in the legal structures in the country to say, it's okay. These are the benefits and what. How best can we, communicate this message to people?
Okay, I think we go back, and I don't want to sound like a broken telephone in the sense that, and repeat what my brother has said here. Every particular investment is unique, and your lawyer, in this particular instance, assists in making sure that you know where to go, whether it's an investment that requires ZIDA, and like what my sister said here, sometimes we do not know. We are also protected through those particular channels. But I'll go back to what he said, Advocate Omera, that your contract is the foundational document, will protect you, or is intended, or should be drafted in a manner that will protect you against things that may happen. And then if you're looking at the Gokwe situation, it's basically a legal practitioner advising that if you bring this money through channels that are traceable, channels that are legal, because we do understand and we do know that people use other channels that may be cheaper. But what does that mean from an investment protection perspective? What are you trying to achieve with this particular investment? Would never really advise you to do any legal thing. But if the lawyer or the investment advisor, if we may put it in those terms, knew this person intends to build an Airbnb or a lodge or a hotel even, and the money is intended for repatriation, I'm sure the advisor on that transaction would then say, listen, put it through these channels, because there are two ways. There's pre-registration and then there's ratifying. And I'll be candid. I mean, I've dealt with, when they say the RBZ is open, we have gone to the RBZ with clients. We have lobbied on things that would not meet the compliance perspective. And we have got exemptions where they would normally say you wouldn't get exemptions. Why? Because the overarching mantra that it's open for business, accommodating investors. So you find most government departments, most places would accommodate you and allow you to do certain things within a compliance framework that is legal. So we should not be scared of our country. Our biggest issue is that, and this is the handicap that we have, is that Zimbabwe has got too many educated people. Saga, when you phone home, you are told nice stories by people who can even give you spreadsheets. And then you believe that, and then you invest. It's important that you then follow channels to make sure that you have secured your own money. You should be able to protect your own money in the first instance. Whether you're doing it from a ZIDA perspective, whether you're going to do it through your contracts, or securing through other structuring measures. I think it is critical that you just take that step or a step back after the excitement of the transaction and just make sure that as you walk in, you're not walking on slippery floors.
Thank you so much. One more question to you, my brother, Madzima. You need to look at me when are the drinks free?
Yeah, I'm back.
Are the drinks free?
No, there's nothing free in the world. Huh? You may not pay for them, but you will.
Chai! Wow, man. Your last words as we wrap up this session.
All right, thank you so much. I will just emphasize to just caution to say that in every business world, in every jurisdiction that we are in the world, there are errant business people, there are errant investors who would want to sell you even dummies. I'm sure even in Harare you have had the rise of sub-book deals. You have had issues of land barons selling non-existent lands to, and it's unfortunate that diasporians fall victim of these issues more often. Hence, we will continue to emphasize that it is very important, imperative for you to ensure that you are alive to the fact that such people do exist amongst us, and the only way we can mitigate such issues is to ensure that there is proper due diligence, there's proper compliance, no cutting, no shortcuts, no corruption, no underhand dealings. You can still do the right thing and protect your investment and do the things right. Those will be my last remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our legal counsel. Don't use AI. Varipa, manokbatsira. And this AI, but go and see them if you want to invest in the country. They are definitely open. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. You can make your way. But I think what is critical to hear from them is that an opportunity for investment is not just good nje. Make sure that there's trust, there's structure, and certainly you are protected in whatever it is that you're doing. As I close off this session for the day today, we have quite a number of people that have come through as sponsors, as partners, to make this event a possibility. And some have spoken, some are yet to speak tomorrow. Is there someone from King City? Where? Emuvale. How about it? I would have the microphone, I put the fasha je, ngemzuzwane mbili. It's really just to greet us, and you are going to talk tomorrow, we know. But for us to appreciate you also as our partners.
Thank you very much. My name is Walter Zimunya. I'm from Radar Properties. We are the developers of King City. I know everybody has spoken about a lot of investments, but show me someone who's building 18,000 homes and I'll sit down. If not, I'll continue talking. More tomorrow.
Anyone from HomeLink? Do we have HomeLink in the building?
I saw Keith here.
Yeah,
there he is. Who's speaking? Okay.
Hello, good evening. That's a missed call. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
Tawanda Matembo, I'm the CEO of HomeLink Private Limited. Our core business is property development. So as we interact with our peers who are based here in South Africa, we do have some exciting opportunities because we have a number of some property development projects which are currently running. We have some 2-bedroom flats. We do have almost 1,000 stands near Lake Chivero. Please talk to us before we go to Harare so that we can register. We give you an opportunity to own a property either in Harare or under Umguzarua district.